Welcome to Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. I'm your host, Melissa Banks, and this is Women Who Shine. This is where we celebrate women who are walking in their purpose, breaking barriers, and lighting the way for others. Every woman featured here has a story that reminds us of the power of faith, resilience, and determination. Today, we're shining the spotlight on Dr. Robin Gethers. She's a woman whose journey is not only inspiring, but also a beautiful reminder that when women shine, we give others permission to shine too. Dr. Gethers is the co founder and chief executive officer of New Beginnings Life Ministry and Consulting. She's an award winning motivational speaker, an award winning author, and a whole lot of other titles behind her name. Thank you for being here and being willing to share your life with us.
I am so thankful to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I am just grateful to be on your platform, on this platform, on your platform. Um, as my journey started growing up, I'm from up north, and this journey was a journey. As I share during a lot of my motivational speaking engagements, that life is it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and to make sure that we learn lessons throughout the journey. As an award-winning author, my book, I would have never thought in 2025 that I would be an award-winning author. As a therapist, I felt that it was very impactful to share my story of a domestic violence survivor. And that's the key word, survivor. And also the experiences that I shared growing up in a household of a lot of childhood trauma. And if you want to know any of the trauma that I've been through, pick up my book. You name it, I have literally gone through it. And as the word says, I'm very thankful that I do not look like what I have been through, because I have been through the depths, beyond, and back. So as a woman of faith, I am just, it's just been a blessing that I am still here. And he has seen me through it all. Um, my business is New Beginnings, as Miss Banks said, New Beginnings Life Ministry and Consulting. I am a board certified counselor, award-winning speaker, award-winning author. I enjoy doing a lot of motivational speaking. I went back to school recently, and I wanted to get more into mental health as a counselor. And I am presently on a book tour for my book. So with all of my engagements, etc., I was still able and so blessed to finish the classes that I needed to specialize in mental health counseling. Learning more about the ADHDs, obsessive compulsive disorders, eating disorders, things like that. So not only am I a board certified counselor, I'm a mental health specialist as well. I'm very involved in the community. I feel that we are blessed to be a blessing to help others. God has given us all gifts and talents, but a lot of times we don't share our gifts and talents, or we don't or have not tapped into those gifts and talents that each and every one of us have. I'm just excited to be here. A little bit about myself.
Now, thank you for sharing that. I want you to take us back to the beginning of your journey. I talk about certain moments in my journey that I consider defining moments or turning points, or because they change something about who I am and my purpose. So talk to us about a moment like that, whether it was a triumph or a struggle, but it was something that was a turning point for you and shaped you to who you are today.
This journey, as I mentioned, there was not one pivotal moment. There were moments going through a lot of the childhood trauma that I mentioned, going through a marriage of domestic violence and abuse. So there were many moments that I just, you try to stay for the right reasons, if you will, being, not wanting to get divorced, not wanting to having to revisit the single life again. Once again, there were just so many pivotal moments, but I would have to say the main defining moment for me was I knew that I deserved better. Um, Realizing my self worth. That was very, very important. Once you realize and say to yourself, this is not what God has intended me, there's a better life out here. This
Mhm.
is not what God has intended for my life. And knowing, having that self worth, having that value, to say, I know that I need better, but I know I deserve better.
Mhm.
And once I came to those realizations and said, okay, Lord, and realizing that in life, we all go through seasons. My season is ended with this person. And again, being that resilient and person that has discovered her power. Like, what's your superpower? And the church groups were very supportive of what I was going through at the time. You've got to be very careful who you speak with, because a lot of people that we call our friends are really not your friends. They have their own, a lot of times have their own agenda. But once I discovered and realized within myself, this was again not intended, my life, there's more out here. I went ahead and, seek support groups and certain people in my life that I did and have proven themselves to be my friend, to say, hey, this is what I'm going through. And of course, utilizing the resources out here, which I share in the back of my book. My book is titled From Trauma to Triumph. And that's exactly what it was, from trauma to triumph. Sharing a lot of the resources that, even though this is 2025, some people are still kind of not tech savvy. So, but I share those resources in the back of the book to say, hey, call this number. If this is what you're going through, call this number, call that number. Um, Being an award winning author for this book, I am just so thankful that I'm able to share the story. And as a counselor, I am used to being transparent with my clients, but I'm not used to being vulnerable. Vulnerability was a space that I was not comfortable with. Um, and a friend of mine said to me, Dr. Gethers, this book that you need to write is not going to be for you. This book needs to be for somebody else. And as I prayed over writing this, because then at that point, I'm opening up wounds. Do I really want to revisit these old wounds that I've healed from? So that was very, very hard. But then I kept remembering what my girlfriend said, that this book needs to be written for somebody else, because we never know that family member, we never know that friend. We never know what somebody is going through. So let my book be of an encouragement to you, of healing, of empowerment, knowing that you got this. Now, when it comes to domestic violence and abuse, it has no race, it has no gender, it has no ethnicity. Some of my clients as a counselor are men. There are a lot of abusive women out here, definitely. But as we know, society, of course, when it comes to speaking on domestic violence, the majority, of course, is a woman. But again, I just want to share that empowerment, that resiliency, and to let that man or woman know that you can make it through the storm. You can be triumphant through whatever you may be facing, whatever you may be going through. It's only temporary. And I want that person to know that. Let it be possibly hiring me as your counselor. I am available for speaking engagements, guest panelist events. If anybody Googles me, Dr. Robin, ROBIN, Gethers, GETHERS.info. You will find my availability. I am available to share this story, to share this journey of empowerment that God was with me all along the way.
That's right.
I am the voice, Melissa, for the voiceless. That's how I want to title myself.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love so many of the things that you just said, because that was a powerful transition and help us to understand your journey. I am a domestic violence survivor as well. So I do understand that. I don't want our audience to miss the most one of the most important things you just said, and that was believing in yourself and believing in your self-worth, because once that happens, you open yourself up to so much more and so much more life. So thank you for sharing that. And we're going
Thank
to
you.
get you to give those details about your book again at the end, so that make sure that they get it.
Okay.
Let's talk about the woman who shine. You know,
Mhm.
when you hear that woman who shine, I get excited because I love spotlighting women. How do
Mhm.
you feel? How does that resonate with you? And what does it truly mean to you to step into your own light and allow others to see it as well?
I look at things like this. It's not to me, I'm a very humble person. It's not about my titles and my education. It's about shining. And when God blesses me and allows me to shine through whatever platform, I want to let that woman know, wherever you are, you do not have to stay what I call stuck. You do not have to stay stuck. There's so much to life out here, knowing that once again, there's so many resources, and I want you to shine, and put away the naysayers. There's going to be a lot of naysayers out here, but you still keep pushing, keep striving, because you can make it. Again, it's tapping into those gifts and talents. I want to see every woman shine out there. This is your assignment. Shine, girl, shine.
I love it. I love it. So, Dr. Gathers, I want you to talk about, we want to celebrate you. I know you want to, we as women, sometimes we kind of don't make a big deal about the big deal when it's us, but we
Mhm.
want to celebrate you. So take us back to a moment, something that it was an achievement that made your heart jump up and down and you feel excited all over. And every time you think about it, you feel those feelings all over again. Share that with us so we can celebrate you.
Okay. So in 2023, to date, and I just have recently won another award, the what's called the Industry Impact Award, because I do, once again, a lot of motivational speaking on mental health. However, that moment, I would have to say, Melissa, when I was called and to be the honored recipient of the 2023 Joe Biden Lifetime Achievement
Oh, wow.
Award. I am so thankful. Thank you for all of my accolades, nominations. That to me was just profound. It felt so surreal. Um, I love all my awards, but and all my achievements, but that, because I've done a lot of community work, a lot of volunteering for, feeding the hopeless, the homeless rather, pardon me, um, mentoring, a community leader out here. I've done just so much, but I do it to help and inspire others, not to get any achievements. This is my mission, and I know this is my purpose and my calling that God has called me into. And I feel that every day that He wakes me up, it's my mission to help that less fortunate person. Whatever that they may be going through. At times, I do a lot of what's called group facilitating here in Montgomery, Alabama, where I don't get paid, but my reward is in heaven. That's when He says, which I hope He says, I pray He says, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." That's all the reward actually that I need, that I want.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. Let me reset here. This is Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. It's the Woman Who Shines series. Our guest today is Dr. Robin Gethers. Dr. Gethers, I want you to talk to us about the journey. You're a challenge, something that you can share with us, a moment when you were tested, or
Mhm.
maybe you even doubted yourself. Share with us what gave you the strength to rise above it and to keep
Mhm.
shining.
Melissa, it as God continues to elevate us, the enemy doesn't want that. Of course, he doesn't want that. So every moment of every part of this journey, it wasn't any moment. Let it be my education, um, just various things that I experienced. We know that the whole job, one of the jobs of the enemy, is to steal, kill, and destroy. When I decided to continue my education after receiving a calling to get into the ministry, um, just trying to finish school was hard. The grants, the loans, the this problem. I had so many specific challenges that was just coming from every direction. But it was just having that perseverance to push through. The late nights, the coffee, the cold pizza. I was determined, and I also tell anybody out here, do not, and I repeat, you should not look for anyone to motivate you. If it's something that you want to achieve in life, you need and should have that self determination to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve, or what you may feel that God is calling you to do for your life, in your life, and through your life.
Absolutely. So, Dr. Gethers, on the days when, sometimes when we're building our dream, we're living life, you share so much of your story with us today. And sometimes it does feel heavy. Sometimes
Yes.
the world feels loud and noisy. The dream just feels like too much and too heavy. So, what
Mhm.
keeps you grounded, focused, and determined to keep shining?
In all transparency, Melissa, as God continued to elevate me, and I had those people in my life that, as when God continues to elevate you, don't be afraid to let people go.
Mm.
That's very important. And I'll say this again, do not be afraid to let people go. Some people don't want to see you shine. Some people don't want to see you walking in your purpose. But once again, it was that perseverance. I was determined to, you may not want to exceed or get the level of education that I have, because everybody has their own calling and your own purpose. Continue to push, continue to press. And if it's something that you want to do, and what I also used to do, Melissa, to keep me to answer the question more in detail, I used to put sticky notes all around my house, right?
Mm.
What places in my home do I visit mainly? I visit what? You visit the restroom a lot, right? Of course. You're in the kitchen, in the bedroom, and those things. I would put motivation quotes on sticky notes.
Mhm.
That was, we all have our different methods, but that worked for me. Just reminding myself, not listening to anybody else. And despite the challenges that I was facing from left, right, front, and back, reminding and keeping focused on the prize. And despite all the challenges that was coming my way, keeping focused on the prize.
I love that. And it's so funny. I'm an event planner, so I was in my car a lot at one time. I even had the post-it notes in the car to
Yes.
remind me, just little reminders to help keep me
Yes.
focused and motivated. So I love
Mhm.
that. Thank you for sharing that. And
Yes.
finally, I want you to uh, speak to the woman who's going to hear this episode. You have poured so much into us in this episode, but speak directly to that woman who has that big dream, and
Mhm.
she feels it, she knows it, she wants it to happen, but she's stuck and
Mhm.
she's afraid. So, what
Right.
would you say to her to remind her that she has everything she needs inside to step
Mhm.
out and shine?
I would first say to that woman, first, God does not give you the spirit of fear. It is the enemy, and I repeat it, it is the enemy that's putting all of that doubt in your head. But if you want to achieve something, go for it and go get it. Life is not waiting for you. You need to go after it, go get it. Through, as I say, hook or crook, go get it. I want to see that woman walking in your purpose. Whatever you feel that your calling is, Don't stop. Keep pushing. Keep moving. I want you to have that internal, as I mentioned, motivation. Because when we look for other people to motivate us, it's very far few in between. So have that self-determination. You keep saying to yourself, I can do this. I heard Dr. Robin today. I heard Dr. Gethers today. I can do this. I can do this. Yes, you can. You keep saying those words. You know, a lot of times when we are speaking things into the atmosphere, we believe those, manifest those things in your life, manifest those important things in your life. Achieve it. When you dream it, as the old saying goes, when you dream it, you can achieve it. Quote
Absolutely.
unquote.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, yes. I love that. Love that. Keep saying it to yourself. Keep saying,
yes.
I can do this.
Do
You
this.
heard it straight from Dr. Gathers. Thank
Yes.
you so much for being here today. Thank you for just all the inspiration that you gave us today and all
Thank
of
you.
the nuggets. Anybody who hears this is going to be inspired. Let our audience know how they can stay connected, how to support you and all that you do.
Thank you, Melissa. So my website is www.dr for Dr. Robin, ROBIN.info. If anybody Googles Dr. Robin Gethers, I am all over social media. When you are an entrepreneur, for those that are seeking entrepreneurship, to be that self-employed person, you are your own brand. So it's very important to market yourself. So anybody, you can find me, trust me, all over social media. But my office number, I'm right here in Montgomery, Alabama. If you need any counseling, I have 13, 14 specialties that I can help you with. So once again, my website is www.drrobin.info. The number to my office here in Montgomery, Alabama is 256 area code 807-0770. As I mentioned, I'm also available at your conference to speak on mental wellness, to speak regarding my award-winning book. Once again, that book is From Trauma to Triumph. I'm available for those that need me. You keep shining bright, walk in your calling, and walk in your purpose.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Dr. Gathers. This has been
Thank you.
absolutely amazing.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for opening your heart and sharing your incredible journey with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Your story is a reminder that no matter where we start, we all have the ability to rise, to dream,
Yes.
and to shine. To
Yes.
every woman watching, I hope you felt encouraged and inspired to keep pushing toward your purpose. I'm your host, Melissa Banks, saying, your light is needed, your voice matters, and your shine is powerful. So until next time, keep shining.